Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live with Sirus Migration. My name is Isuriapa. I'm a registered migration agent, and we will be discussing a few topics. There are some major changes happened last week and last few days, actually. So we'll be talking about the latest global talent independent visa changes, which is quite critical. It affected quite a few people. And we will also be talking about subclass 485, otherwise known as temporary resident visa. We will also be talking or demystifying about complicated Australian migration issues. We will also try to talk about skilled migration advice for 2021, depending on the time, and also the latest state updates. I've got Mrs. Ashani Apa and our senior migration agent, Mr. Willem, right next to me. They will introduce themselves to you soon. This is the first time Mr. Willem coming on the camera. So, Mr. Willem, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you very much, Nasuru. Hello, viewers. My name is Willem Oostak, and I'm a senior migration agent. I've been in the industry for some 14 years now. And I'm going to talk to you in the future about some complex matters. Hopefully I can bring to you some demystifying some of the visa refusals and the visa cancellations and the pathways to deal with those problems, matters before the administrative tribunal and also to the Federal Circuit Court and Federal Court. And perhaps, if there's any need to go to the ministerial intervention pathway. So I'm looking forward to that, to present that to you in the future.
Ashani, you want to say hello to the viewers and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Ashani Apa from Sirus Migration. This is our first live session?
No, this is the second
live
Unfortunately,
session.
we had a pause between the sessions. We were not able to come on live last Thursday due to certain matters. And unfortunately, also today, we have to excuse Mr. Josie Witkowski. He had to take some personal leave out. So I don't know if there's any questions yet. If there's any questions, as usual, viewers, please type your question down below. We've got both YouTube and Facebook happening, so we'll be answering your questions as much as the questions that you put down. We'll be answering within the time limits. So we talked about global talent independent visa. There has been major changes came to play. We'll be releasing a video in YouTube coming up tomorrow. So hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, we'll be releasing a full video explaining all about the new changes. But until then, the two main changes that came up under Direction 89 was there was a few ways to be qualified to global talent independent visa. One is if you're earning a high income threshold in or out from Australia, currently in one of the 7 target sectors. So one of the changes came up, and the other way is to if you have completed your master's or bachelor's with high grades, or you're a recently graduated or recently graduating PhD student. So one of the new changes came up is the opportunity for students from bachelor's, master's, and honors is no longer there. So if you have high marks, you're not in the pool anymore. So you won't be able to eligible with the global talent stream. And also, if you have already applied and received a UIN or an invitation by now, you're still safe. You can apply for your GTI visa. So you're safe in that way. But anyone else who has applied or willing to apply, not yet received your global talent independent invitation, you won't be considered for this sector anymore. That's a bit unfortunate, but if you're earning high income threshold, which is $153,600, or if you're able to make that meet that threshold by having a job offer or any other way, then you will still be eligible. And also the other point is other changes. There used to be only 7 sectors who could be eligible for this Global Talent Independent Visa. From 7 sectors, it has gone to 10 sectors. They have expanded most of the sectors and also introduced 3 new sectors. The new 3 sectors are education, infrastructure and tourism, and circular economy. So they have given 1 full sector for mining, which used to be together with energy. Now energy's got their own, mining's got their own under resources. So ag food's been added to ag tech, health industries been expanded from med tech, defense has come into advanced manufacturing, Digitech covers cybersecurity, quantum information, all that areas. Financial services been introduced to fintech. So one side it's expanded further, the other side it's shrink to some of the university students who are not completing PhD. So that's pretty much a summary of the full changes for Global Talent Independent Program, which we will talk further. You will be able to hear further tomorrow when we release the video. And please, if you have not yet subscribed to us, please hit that bell button down below and subscribe so you will be notified every time we release this sort of important information. Ashani, do you want to talk a bit about the 485?
Yeah.
Because it is important for most of our viewers to they're completing and studying.
So there has been a new 485 stream introduced. That's good news. There's a 485 extension stream depending on which area you studied and where you currently lived and worked during your first 485 visa. You can get either 1 year or 2 years 485 extension. So this is really good for students who completed their studies in regional university and who remained in regional area and lived and worked there. If you studied in metropolitan area, which means, let's say, for example, Brisbane City, but then you move to regional area and work there during your 485, unfortunately, you are not eligible for this extension. This is only for people who graduated from regional campuses. Regional also comes under 2 sectors, major regional areas, and then again further down there's further regional areas. So if you studied in a university that's in a further regional area and you lived there, then you can get the extension for 2 years. But if you studied in a regional center, which comes under category 2, you can only get the extension for 1 year. If you want more information, it could be quite confusing if you're not familiar with the regional centers and further regional areas. It's also advertised on the government website as well. But if you need more information, get in touch with the migration agent. They'll be able to tell you, depending on your situation, whether you're eligible for 1 year or 2 years. The visa application fee is $650 for this extension stream. And it's available for you to lodge now, given that you are eligible. So that's the good news about 485.
With 485s, it's a one-off opportunity, and there's no secondary dependent 485s being allowed anymore as well. So if you haven't been consulted by a migration agent, it's always good to have a good consultant draw your pathway and explain you how to do it and put your plan together. It is a important part in your life, so we highly recommend you to talk to a migration agent who's qualified. Thank you, Ashani. And then we were to talk a little bit about complicated Australian migration issues. We had some interesting chats going into Section 48, talking about Section 501, 4013 bars and stuff like that. So for our viewers, can you please explain, Willem, what's what's complicated about this and why the applicants and the viewers have to be very careful about what actions they take after. Because some people, they just think it's a trend. You apply, you get the visa refused, then you go to an AEST automatically, and then
No.
federal court.
It's it certainly is a minefield, and most visa applications, they go pretty smooth.
Yeah.
But there are people out there, clients, that might have made a mistake in the past when they watched their original application.
Yeah.
They might have maybe forgotten, to enter some information that is relevant to their application. And for instance, we had a client this yesterday morning who called us and said, "Look, I'm on a student visa. I'd like to bring my partner and my child to Australia, but I forgot to enter my partner and child's details in my original application."
Wow.
So that's a problem because he didn't disclose that information, and if he applies for another visa, that's going to be a problem. So a visa can be cancelled if you don't provide the correct information, and then the problems start. They will get a natural justice letter. They need to respond to the natural justice letter, and if the visa is refused, then the option is to go to the tribunal for a merits review of that decision. And then the tribunal will take a process. They will look at the situation. They do an info review of that application. And if the tribunal remits the matter back to the Department of Immigration, then hopefully the application will be approved. If it's refused, then the only option is to go to the Federal Circuit Court. So there's how we can deal with that situation.
Yeah. So you got quite a few questions, actually, a lot bigger than we expected. I can't see this screen
I can read
clearly,
some
maybe.
questions, yes.
So go from the top to bottom, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, I've got, this is in YouTube. I've got Akbar saying, "Hi, how are you?" We're
Hello.
good, thank you, Akbar. Hope you're doing well. He wants to know if he can ask some questions. Of course,
Obviously,
yes,
yeah.
this is the whole purpose of this live session. So you can come up with all your questions and ask us, and hopefully we can give you an answer
Within the
live
limits.
or get back to you.
Yes.
So I've got Tarindu Pereira asking, when do the borders open for international students?
Tough question to answer. The latest circulation is, I think they're guessing it'll be April 2022, but
Yeah,
it
we
can
don't have
change.
any
But there's the government.
solid
Yeah.
answer for that question.
So the international students, the universities and governments talking to each other to design some pathways before they fully open the gates. They'll start opening the gates for international students. But we know, as much as you know, as soon as we get more information, we'll let you know. To what we know, the gates are expected to be open fully April next year, but we have not yet had any solid information.
But if you're an international student who's currently offshore, there are still ways that you can start your journey in Australia by studying online.
Correct.
Most of the universities, they do offer enrollment, and most of the countries, they are processing student visas.
Yeah.
So you can apply for a student visa, get it granted, get your confirmation of enrollment, and you can start your studies. And then when the borders open, most likely you will be one of the students who gets the priority to come to Australia.
Yes.
So, that is something that the initial steps you can start taking right now
So if you're
to start your journey.
If you're looking to start, maybe don't wait. Just try to get enrolled and get your student visa quickly and start your enrollment. So you'll be one of the prioritized students to come. And there might be opportunities probably by the second semester to have some batches coming in. So hopefully July, there'll be some batches coming into universities.
Okay, I've got Satnam Singh. Hello, sir. Can I apply student visa in trade course carpenter? My PT score is 47 overall. I complete 12th class in art, 76.84%, 2019 pass out. I can't see why not. I believe you're with your name, probably you're from India. So I think India is currently processing student visas, and there are colleges who offers enrollment. you can study some subjects online if the college offers that. So get in touch with us, send us an email. I think our marketing team will send you a separate message or put our email address in there, and we can assess your profile to see your eligibility and help with the
if
visa.
you can help further with that. It's admin@sirus.com.au, so admin@sirus.com.au. The address will be, the contact details will be down below as well.
I've got, we've been asking, is there any risk of rejection if student visa and dependent visa application submitting together?
Is it a complicated area, Mr. Idol?
Could you repeat the question for me?
So student visa and student and dependent submitting as a combined application. So you know what, normally sometimes students apply student visa first and then at the dependent, they're asking if there's any chance to get a refusal if they do the application as a combined application.
Look, it comes down to genuine temporary intent criteria,
Yeah.
500-223 sector. So as long as you have a genuine intention to study, I can't see why not. I mean, no one's expected to be separated from your family for a long period if you're studying for 2 years or etc. It depends on how genuine your case. If you're studying your bachelor's degree, master's degree, or is there a big gap between your studies? What's your background and what you intended to study? So it all comes together. So if you need some more advice, please be in touch. We'll advise further.
Yeah. I've got Hariram. Hi, it's a question about 485 temporary graduate visa. How do I get police check from my home country, which is being asked in the visa application? So that's again a new change for subclass 485 visa. Now they're asking to submit police clearances not just from Australia, but from your home country as well. So depending on the country, the process is different. Most of the time you can apply online and then you can lodge the visa with the receipt to say that you applied online, and then you can wait for the police clearance. But it has changed quite recently, I think about 3-4 weeks ago. Now you do have to submit the police clearances from both countries. I've got, okay, sorry, I think I lost.
Can we jump into Facebook for a bit too?
Okay, sure. So now I'll go to the questions in Facebook. I've got Neil.
Sorry.
Neil. Hi all, I'm currently working as software developer. I applied 190 with 90 points and will apply 491 as well when Queensland opens. My question is, what will be a cutoff for 491 and 190? What are the chances to get invited for 491 and 190? Software developer, that's June. Who wants to answer that? Do you want to answer that, or do you want to do it?
I think the position and the points system is very competitive.
It is.
So
for 90 points,
there will be many who will score that ranking. So it's going to be very competitive to get an invitation.
That's right, but it's a good point, and your occupation is a good occupation as well. It's in a good sector compared to a lot of business occupations or marketing, some related other occupations. IT is a good sector.
And the skills assessment is quite reasonable with ACA.
That's right. So he must have already got the skills assessment, have already lodged. We will know more information when Queensland BSMQ reopens. They will come up with their own criteria as well, like how they normally do. And if you haven't done so, get in touch with the migration agent right now would be a really good idea. So that way you can plan your EOI, keep it ready, and lodge with BSMQ, because normally when BSMQ opens, they comes up with their own criteria. For example, when they opened with interim criteria last time, they not only they ask everyone to send BSMQ an email explaining how you are contributing to COVID-19 recovery. So I'm thinking this time it would be something similar, or they will come up with some sort of criteria. So make sure you keep checking their website and make sure you comply with the additional requirement from the BSMQ for you to maximize your chances to get an invitation. So that is my advice.
Next question is about Section 48 bar. Is there any changes? Yeah, there is a case in the Parliament at the moment to lift up the...
Yeah, there's a petition before the Senate to get the bar lifted. But we're still waiting on an outcome.
Yeah, there's no outcome in that. And Section 48, we had a really good chat a couple of days ago. When you have Section 48 bars, we used to see some clients go out and apply for a visa and come back into the country, and then Willem said, "No, let's demystify the Section 48."
So Section 48, Item 3, actually says that if you leave Australia, you leave the migration zone, and you apply for a visa, and you return to Australia on the bridging visa B, you deem to not have left the migration zone. So therefore, you are still subject to Section 48.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a trap.
Yeah. So to answer Hero's question, it is being debated right now, but Section 48 bar, nothing has changed, and most of the states have clearly mentioned in their websites and clearly given the information out to say they will not be inviting anyone who are Section 48 barred for 190 or 491.
But Section 48, if you have an issue, if you need further support, definitely to be in touch with us. We like Section 48.
We like complex matters.
Complex matters, that's it. We like that sort of matters.
So I've got Vino Jacob saying regarding the new 485 restrictions, the partners who have already used their partner 485 cannot apply for 485 themselves after completing their studies. Is this true? Yes. So that's how we are interpreting the regulation right now. But it's a very complex area as well. We will get back to you when we know better or when we know more. But as of now, you are correct. If you held 485 visa as a secondary applicant in the past, you cannot apply for 485 as a main applicant as of now.
Okay.
I've got Ratish. Sorry guys, I'm just going to be quite hurrying along the questions because we have so many questions, and we will try to get to all the questions as much as we can.
Yeah.
So I've got Ratish asking, how do you expect the chances for 189, 190 offshore applicants for the next financial year with 90 plus points? What I can say is depends on your occupation.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
STEM, critical sectors.
Maybe go by the PMS or the priority skill migration occupation list. If your skill is critical for Australia, you will be invited. Yeah. That's pretty much what I can say, even though it's a bit harsh. I've got Manos. Hi, can I apply Bachelor in Hospitality Perth? I haven't been to school after 2009. Previous study Bachelor of Science in Nepal and Commercial Cookery from Melbourne. Nepal, currently working as a cook. Again, that it's a student visa question. It comes to GTI. If you haven't studied for a very long time, you will have to prove how your current study will benefit your future, and you will have to address that GTI criteria not only for the immigration but for the university as well. Have to convince them how suddenly you decided to study after 11 years, how that will benefit you in the future. So that you will be a genuine temporary entrant to Australia just for the purpose of upskilling yourself. Yeah. So that will be your challenge.
Yeah.
As long as you can prove that, I can't see why not. I've got Sam.
And then we'll jump into Sam will do that. So that's done for that.
I've got Sanjay asking what are the chances for 189 and 190 with developer programmer. 95 points. Again, it's a good occupation. 95 is a pretty good score. So I think we have good score. So get in touch with the migration agent again. If you haven't done so, get ready for your EOI. Earlier the better to approach the states as soon as they open.
If you could get into 491 sector with that as well, you get further points. So
yeah. So any updates about Queensland skilled migration? Last time you said the date might change. That is what I heard from BSMQ. The manager did say that she may ask for an extension, but we haven't heard any other news so far. But we are also getting ready, just thinking that if we open the date that they said they will open, so we will be ready. So I suggest, Sam, you do the same. Make sure that your EOI is ready in the system. You can draft it. You don't need to, you can't lodge it. But then all you need to do is just hit the submit button when BSMQ opens. So you don't waste all your time creating your EOI when BSMQ opens. So I've got lots of questions in YouTube. Manoj saying, thank you, Sirus team. Got my answer. Stay safe.
Thank you, Manoj.
I hope you stay safe too. Can I maximize that so I can see better?
Yeah.
You're up to
You can see it on the big screen as well.
How do I do that? Okay, is it there?
That's what you're up to.
All right, thank you. So I've got Akbar saying, if I will go with tourist visa, and after can I change to student visa?
With a genuine reason, and also if you didn't have the 8503 no further stay condition, the actual purpose of the tourist visa is not to come to Australia and change into a student visa. But if you had proper reasons why you need to go there, you might need to lift the 8503 restrictions or apply for a waiver. It depends on your background and scenario. So we need to discuss with you further with the circumstances, but we don't advise come here in a visitor visa expecting to change to a student visa.
Yeah, I've got
Raven, what is the new changes for 485 regulations?
what is the new changes for 485? So as I said, there's a new stream for 485, and the biggest change right now, as we know it, is if you held a 485 in the past as a secondary applicant, you cannot apply for a 485 as a main applicant. So that is the biggest change. But we are waiting to hear more from the department about these new changes and how to interpret it. I've got Vikman said, hi, thanks for this information. I applied for GTI last October. Haven't received any response from Home Affairs. What are the time frame currently?
So
if you're, yeah.
Currently, they're taking up to about 130 days to process the applications. That's the average time frame as it stands
3 to 4
now.
months.
So 3 to 4 months. So you're probably within that area. As long as you're a high income earner, you're safe. The only thing that you might need to worry is if you have applied as a student who has just completed master's or bachelor's with high points within last 3 years, you might not receive a response because they are no longer processing those applications. But as long as you applied with a job offer or you're currently a high income earner, it shouldn't be a problem. You should receive a response within I think within the matter of this month or next month. You should get a response back.
Hi there, any chance for 491 visa this year? Yes, depending on your occupation and where you're currently staying and if you're currently working or not. That will depend on certain factors, certain criteria set by different states. If you can fulfill them and if you have the right score, then certainly yes, you will have a chance for 491.
This is a biased answer. Coming next one.
Can you please give, okay, I've already answered Akbar's questions. He's asking for an answer. I've got Dilanka asking what's the best regional area for international students.
Would you say well, what would you say? NT and W has been very proactive
Western
too.
Australia, Northern Territory, South Australia.
If all the states, that depends on what you study
yeah.
in though. Like each area, each state's got their own preferred list. So it depends on what you like to study where, sort of thing. I guess like Queensland's got a really good program too, but so it depends what you like to study. And then if you come up with your occupation, then we can see why that area is better for you.
Yeah, I've got Tanu Ratan. She's working as a IT support analyst in Melbourne for 3 months. The question is if he wants to know if they're eligible for 190 in Victoria. As I have 3 months of experience, if I get 6 months, then am I eligible or not? So Victoria Skill Migration, when they reopen, they have a whole different system now. First, you have to register your interest and prove that you're supporting in COVID-19 recovery process. if you can prove that, and if you have the right English, if you're working and living in Victoria, then you have a chance to get 190. But I need to know a lot more information about how many points you have and all of that before I can give you a right answer. But with general eligibility, looks like you are eligible just because you're there and you're working and your occupation is there. But we would need to know more to give you a certain answer to see if you can register your interest for Victoria.
Applying for visit visa asked by Mr. Khan.
Yeah, can I apply visit visa? If you're a immediate family member of an Australian citizen or permanent resident, yes, you can apply visit visa and you can travel. But other than that, unless you have a exceptional reason, you cannot travel to Australia with visitor visas, because as you're probably already aware, our borders are closed. So unless you're one of the exempted category people, you cannot come to Australia with a visitor
Just for the
visa.
visitor visa purpose, yeah.
Please guide me about past students who got degree from Australia and currently in India. I really don't understand your question, Rakesh. Maybe reword it. If you're asking about 485, please reword it so I can give you a better answer. I've got May asking, hi, the Department of Home Affairs seems to have huge backlog since 2018. Is the visa processing following first come, first out basis?
Depends on which visa, right? Well, parents' visa is the first come, first out.
Yep.
Remaining relative after 30 years, first come, first out.
Yep, 2 years. Interpreted parent visas.
Yeah. So,
So
partner visa has been a bit different though. Like lately, there's been an expedited process in partner visas, whether first in, first out, or the allocated case officers. I don't know.
to be honest, I think it's also a factor how decision ready the application
That's
is.
right, I was just going to say that. So
Right.
decision ready
Yeah.
applications seem to be getting priority.
Yeah.
Most of our partner visa applications get really quick answers. I guess we were talking about it the other day. And
Maybe we are just being lucky. I don't want to comment too much on it. But what we can
we do apply partner decision ready applications. So as soon as the decision maker or the case officer look at it, they have everything in front of them in a proper order with the submission. So
yeah, that's what we can suggest them, isn't it? We'll
Well,
have to make
The
sure.
quickest one I had was 11 months.
11 months, partner visa.
So we've done
My
it
quickest
better.
was about
Yeah.
5 months.
That's
Very
pretty
recently,
quick.
that's
That's
pretty
pretty-
quick. But they had a really genuine relationship. They had a child in between,
Sure.
living together for so long.
Mine
So-
was offshore. So.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
pretty good for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So what we can advise you for any visa, doesn't matter partner or which application, try to make sure if you're doing it by yourself or a migration agent is handling it, make sure it's decision ready, which means you have given the case officer everything and more documents that they need to make a decision as soon as they open the file. So they don't have to come back to you asking for more information, which can delay the process.
Yeah.
So that would be the good practice for any visa. Can we get to more questions or are we done? Okay, let's get to a few more questions.
Can we pick up from where we left? Which one did we So Marius highlighted. Is that the one we have to? Jonas?
Cancel this one.
I think we're done that one.
Yeah. That's
So I did that one.
So I've got 80 points with civil engineer, engineering degree in Brisbane, submitted EOI last April, working outside area of study. Oh, 485 will be expired in October. How are my chances? So working outside of area of study. So if you're a civil engineer and if you have lodged your EOI last April, if you didn't get an invitation by 25th of December, that means that EOI is no longer valid in Queensland. When they reopen, you will have to lodge a new EOI. But if you're working outside, so if you're not working as a civil engineer, then you are not going to get an invitation, because the requirement in Queensland is you must be working in your nominated occupation 6 months for 190 or 3 months for 491 regional state sponsorship.
491 small business might be a good option for you, depending on your circumstances. But it's we need to know more about you to discuss further. So
It's
maybe
a little low on the points too, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So
And I've
you got 10 months. I think it's critical that you talk to someone
That's
quick,
right,
because
very
if you
important.
you got if you do a 491 small business, you're just cutting the slate now, because you need to run it for 6 months too with full work rights.
So I've got Harsiman asking, hi all, I'm now offshore. Applicant, can I apply for small business owner pathway by investing $100,000 if I'm on visitor visa? No, Harsiman, you cannot. For 491 small business owner, you have it's a good thing that you are in Australia, but you need to hold a visa with full-time work rights in order to apply for 491 small business owner, because you have to actually run the business for 6 months while holding some sort of visa with full-time work rights. So that limits you. Visitor visa doesn't normally come with work rights. So you cannot. So you probably have to go into a different visa and then go through that. We should be able to plan a pathway if that's possible. Get in touch with us. We will look at your scenario and see if we can help.
You need to have a skill assessment and full-time work rights to be eligible for 491 skill small business in Brisbane.
Sorry, next question is funny.
Don't say that.
I've got Peppo. Hi, I'm engaged right now and I'm preparing my EOI to migrate to Australia. Which is better for me, to get married before and get the visa, or should I wait until I get my visa and then get married?
I think she's talking about the prospective marriage visa and the partner visa.
No, she's not. She's talking about lodging a 190 and claiming points for being single.
I'll get a ring first.
All right, complicated.
If you're engaged, you should declare that. So that's what the law says. If you're engaged, if you're in a relationship, engaged, then you should declare that. Otherwise, you could get into trouble later. But if you're single, if you're not married, of course, you don't have to declare that, because you're not, and you can claim 10 points for being single. But if you're in a relationship, serious relationship, de facto or engaged, then please do declare that. Otherwise, later down the track, Willem can Willem once your visa is cancelled. I've got Rakesh. Hi, I got advanced diploma in hospitality management degree in 2010 from Australia. Currently in India. Please guide me any possibility for permanent residency. Rakesh, we'll have to assess your case from the beginning. It's a great thing that you got a qualification from Australia, but it really matters what you did between 2010 and now for us to see if you have any prospects for Australian migration. Get in touch with us. More than happy to assess your case and give you
Next question is from
advice.
Manoj. He's asking when the border is going to be open. Manoj, the borders, as we discussed earlier, the full border is opening. We no one knows, but they believe it will be about April next year. But there'll be programs. They're planning programs for international students to come earlier in sectors. So
I'll actually pick another question. I've got someone asking, Ahmed, saying, Masters is removed from Global Talent Visa, but I have Masters and high international experience, but I don't have job in Australia now. Can I still apply and have a good chance?
Well, it's a really good question. So the policy says even though you're not, if you're solely going with your master's results only, then you cannot. But if you have qualifications in the field and you have the ability to attract high income in Australia, and if you can demonstrate that, then you'll be able to apply for that for the Global Talent Independent Program. So it'll be good to book an appointment with us. What's his name? Sorry. Ahmed. So we can guide you further. So it's a good area. Look, just by having a master's only, it doesn't matter. Like if you're earning high income threshold and if you're working in one of those 10 sectors, there is no minimum. There is no minimum education qualification, as long as you have the ability and the talent to attract that high income and you're internationally recognized.
I've got Louis Hera. Hi, I have applied first for visitor visa before a travel exemption. Can you take to court a decision for travel exemption? And she asking another question. My child got travel exempt visa, 8 years old. My partner is the legal tutor. She did not get it because we have formalized our relation. What can I do? Louis, I don't really understand the question. Please get in touch with us. Looks like you're talking about travel exemption for a visitor visa for an Australian permanent residence child. I'm not sure, but if you can prove that if your partner is in Australia and is citizen or resident, then the child doesn't need travel exemption. They can travel.
Yeah.
But please get in touch with us. We are happy to help, but we really need to understand your situation a little better before we can give you any advice. Okay. Should we go to some Facebook questions?
Is it all done?
There are some questions, but a lot of them we already answered in one way or the other during the live session. So I probably won't repeat these questions.
See quickly if you have any one or two questions from Facebook. Mario and Lena has given us enough warnings. You're out of the time.
I've got someone just have a question. Sir, can you support in buying small invested business? We are not business brokers, so we cannot really help you with buying the business. But if you're an investor who's looking into doing business innovation or investment visa, we are more than welcome. We do help with the process from A to Z, and we can introduce you to people who can help you with setting up and buying a business. But that's not part of what we do.
Yeah, so if you're looking to be business for migration purposes, and or if you're expanding your businesses or you're acquiring business and you're seeking migration advice behind it, you're more than welcome to contact us, and we will give you as much information as possible.
Okay, I've got some Facebook questions. Ankit, it's a really good question. Can existing 485 visa holders get any extension with no regional studies but living and working in regional since last 1 year? No, you cannot. You must have graduated from a regional university for you to be eligible for this. I've got Pratibha, employer sponsorship 186 visa direct entry. Is that valid? 485 2 years experience and 482 visa 1 year. Is that valid for 3 years? Yes. As long as as long as you completed your qualification, so you are skilled when you went on to your 485 and you did do your 3 years, 2 in your 485 and 1 on your 482. I don't know too much about what the occupation is. That should be, so the requirement for 186 is 3 skilled employment.
So 186 visas got two streams. One is direct entry. The other one is TRT. So for TRT, for you to be qualified, you need to have you need to be working in under 482 for 3 years and then apply. But if you're going for, if you already have 3 years and a skill assessment, you don't have to wait for that 3 years. You can go directly into 186, which is a permanent visa, or you can go through the TRT pathway.
So to answer your questions, if your experience is skilled, yes, we can use that 3 years. Pratibha, please get in touch with us. There are other factors to subclass 186 as well.
Okay.
You need to have skills assessment and certain English, and your employer may have caveats, so they have to have other eligibility as well. So we're happy to do we provide free consultations for employer nominated visas. So happy to do a consultation for you and check your eligibility. Oh, Pratibha is a chef.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes, Pratibha. So send us an email. We will give you a consultation and we will assess your profile as well as your
at no cost to you, initial consultation.
All right. I think we are done. So,
thank you, everyone. Hope we answered as many as we could within the time limits. Hope you enjoyed the time, and Please share any other questions. We'll be coming back next Thursday around the same time at 4 o'clock. If you have any more questions, or if we have any more visa changes, updates, we'll be talking to you. And as we said earlier, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to us or hit that bell button, and it helps us as well. And you will be notified as soon as we release one of those visa updates. As soon as they comes, it goes right there. Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ashani. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a great
Thanks,
Australia Day.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Next Tuesday. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.